In this video, I will show you how you can beat LYJ, or at least somebody who is coming in with a banana flick on every serve of yours. My name is Olaf Kozalowski. This is Table Tennis Technalytics. Let's go.
Allee, wanneer mag ik een bal terugvragen?
Luc, voor de zoveelste keer, ik doe dat niet expres. Oké? Ik doe dat niet expres. Het is moeilijk om die gsm te halen. Oké? Ik kan dat niet zomaar raken. Je mocht eigenlijk gewoon content zijn, hè, dat ik u ervoor heb gekozen. Dat je dat mocht meedoen, ça va? Jesus. So hello everybody, we're here again in Antwerp in the hall of my sponsor, Kilipong. And today we're going to be talking about a bit more of a strategical, tactical video. We're going to see how you can beat players who come in on your serve with a banana flick all the time. And as clickbait, of course, I use LYJ in the thumbnail. As I will do in a couple other videos, I will split this up into first the technical part of what you have to do correctly, and then the tactical things and key points you have to think about. Why am I doing this is because if you are convinced of yourself that everything about your movements and that is okay, then you can just skip right ahead. But if maybe the underlying problem could be that you need to think about your technique a little bit first. So that's why I'll split this up into a technical and a tactical parts of the video. Okay. First thing we'll be seeing is keep your movements short and controlled. I discussed this a little bit in a previous video about the passive game, so I'll be going over this here quite quickly. If you want to see the full in-depth explanation, well then just go over to that video. I'll probably leave a link somewhere on the screen or in the description, you will see. So keep your movements short and controlled. It means that you have to go a little bit over the ball. Don't risk too much. And again, try to open your racket a little bit more. This is important, and as I said in my video on the passive game, it's quite counterintuitive that you have to open your racket if you want the ball to go on the table. Because people, they will close their racket more and more if the ball comes with more and more rotation. If the ball of the opponent comes with more and more rotation. No, you have to open your racket because this gives you a cleaner contact and this will give you more control over the ball. If your opponent is stepping in with a banana flick or just in general with everything in the game, I'm not prohibiting you from just blocking a ball, especially since it's more and more coming into fashion with players like Morigard or let's say even Darko Jorgic, who just oftentimes they just block the ball back on table if they want to control it. Next thing to keep in mind is not to tense up. Again, I have to call back to my previous video on the passive game because there again I did a little bit more of a lengthier explanation of the same topic which I'm discussing here, but I'll go over it again. So here, as the ball comes to you, try not to let it come too much because then you'll have to touch it too close and your shoulders, you will be shrugging your shoulders up. So this is something you really should avoid because, I mean, table tennis is all about staying relaxed. This is very important. So try as much as you can not to feel pressurized when somebody is coming in with a banana flick. Same goes with forehand, by the way. Okay, so don't try to shrug your shoulders because you want to stay over the ball, because you want the ball to go over the net on the table. Okay, now we're getting into the more tactical aspects of playing somebody who comes in with a banana flick all the time. So, if you're serving, try to think counterintuitively. What do I mean with this? Well, if somebody's coming in all the time and as a reaction you want to serve more and more with downspin because you think, well, at some point he's going to have to push. He's going to have to receive with a push ball. Well, maybe not. And if you keep serving with more and more downspin, as a result, well, the banana flick that will come will be with more and more quality, with more and more rotation, and therefore it will be more and more difficult for you to control this ball. So, what do I mean with counterintuitively thinking? Well, sometimes you have to serve with upspin because on this ball your opponent will not be able to play a banana flick with such great quality. Of course you have to vary, and varying, of course, I can tell you to vary, but it's quite difficult because I don't know what match you're playing, who you're playing, so there's not one rigid tactic on how you can vary your serve. But I'm just saying that if you serve with topspin, well, your opponent is forced to go over the ball a little bit more. He cannot accelerate with his wrist as much, and the ball will not come with as much rotation as it would be as if you're serving with full-on backspin. So as a result, that will give you a much better ball to control. And sometimes you don't even want to hide it. Sometimes you're really going to serve full topspin and you're not trying to camouflage it in any way. You're just showing your opponent that he has to come in with a flick. And that will give you also normally quite a decent ball. Somebody who does this quite well is Timo Boll. His serves sometimes when he's playing with topspin, well, I can tell you they're not hidden at all. You can totally see what he's doing with it, but you cannot do as much as you want with this ball just because there's so much topspin in it. And the main thing you're focusing on is just playing this ball on the table and controlling it, and not playing this ball on the table with as much quality. So try it out.
So guys, quick little break here. As I'm editing this video, I realized that I have an almost perfect match example of what I mean with this trying to lure out your opponent. It's not really applicable in this situation with an opponent who played a backhand flick, but nevertheless, you'll see the principle where I'm trying to go to. So I was playing a double 2 years ago with a friend of mine, Lawrence de Vos, and we were playing a Swiss pair. And throughout the entire match, and especially towards the 5th set and the end of the match, they were just pushing long on both of our serves, or I don't know what. And then the other guy of the double pair, he was just waiting for a counterspin on the next ball because we couldn't really take advantage of our first ball. And even when I was serving with topspin, as you will see here at 9-7, it's not super obvious. Even though we were trying to lure them out playing with topspin, see, it wasn't enough, and they kept on just pushing long, and we kept on losing this advantage of having the initiative. So at 9-8, I told my doubles partner that I was going to serve topspin, but I'm not going to try to hide it anymore. I'm going to play a serve as if I want you to notice that I'm going to serve with topspin. And the difference here it was a little bit psychological. Then all of a sudden, it was not an option for my opponent anymore to push long on this serve because it was so obvious that it was going to be a topspin serve. So then he had this switch in mindset that he was going to flick. And I said to my doubles partner before the point, I said, okay, I'm going to do this serve. I'm going to try to lure him out. And I want you to be ready to be playing on a ball on a flick. And that was exactly what happened, and it played out perfectly.
Next thing that you should think about is to serve more long and to serve more half long. If somebody's coming in all the time, and that means oftentimes that they're not surprised anymore. That means that you're all the time serving short. So try to get them out of their comfort zone by serving a bit more long, a bit more half long. Well, half long, it's quite a good idea because it doesn't show immediately that your serve will be half long. So people will only last minute see that the ball will come out of the table, and by then the ball will have dropped a lot. So this is a good idea, but if you want to really push your opponent back, that you can do with serving a few long serves. And then after these half long serves and these long serves, you can go back to serving short as your basic strategy, if this was your basic strategy to begin with. And another thing, well, sometimes it can be a little bit ineffective, or you might not win the point immediately, or you can lose a few points with this half long serve or with this long serve. Well, that's not really something to worry about, because sometimes it's also a thing of sacrifice. Because all of a sudden your opponent, he will start hesitating and he will not be so confident anymore to step in. Okay, fifth and last key point. We already discussed the rotation, we already discussed the depth of your serve, and now the placement. The placement meaning sometimes you have to serve a little bit sharper, okay? Don't just hand your serves on a silver platter in the middle of the table. No, if you serve short forehand, really serve in the short forehand. Don't serve in the middle, because again, this makes it easier for your opponent to step in. It's just less distant to travel for him. If you serve 10 centimeters more to his forehand, well, that's one step extra, and one step extra makes a world of difference. So again, serve short and serve a little bit sharper if you want to do this. All right, so that was the video. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any comments, any extra notes, additions to what I said, please leave them down below, because I really encourage any discussion or debate that can come from these types of videos, from these videos. And hopefully this video was of some use to you, especially now that banana flick is such an essential part of the game that sometimes there's just really no way around it. And at some point somebody's going to play it against you, so it's better to be prepared. So again, thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time.